Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Enjoying the sunny weekend weather, I do hope. This is very exciting. I've never done a YouTube live before, so I am very excited to be here. And what I'm going to talk about with everybody today is the 3 ways to calm your anxiety and help you connect to your emotions better. I mean, there is so much emotion going on at the moment and out there in the world that it would be some really great tools if when those emotions came to the surface, if you were able to really connect with those emotions and get to the other side of them and feel something more peaceful, more open. And I know some of you periodically are feeling anxiety and fears, just more on and off. Like there are only a few of you, I think, that are feeling them all the time, but it would be great to have just some quick short-term strategies so that when you do feel them, you're able to just do one of these tools that can really help you work through that anxiety and then move on with things so that you can get back to what you're doing, whether it's working or whether you need to go for a walk or something else that you're doing in your life. So I'm very excited to share them with you. Some of them, well, 2 of them at least, you guys aren't going to know anything about. So this is going to be some really great tools to really help you, which is very exciting. So the very first tool that I want to share is, I think, for people that have been more into NSA and they're frequently getting in trained and doing SRI with themselves, you will know more about this first technique. But for other people that are new to this work, and it's about really connecting into areas in our body that are peaceful, areas that have more ease and are very easy and effortless to connect with, rather than going straight into the emotion of the anxiety and then trying to work through it with all this anxiety coming up in the body. So there are tools to do that when you do feel anxious. That's when you need to stop, pull yourself to one side and do one of these exercises, and then see how your body responds and see how the emotions respond afterwards. So the first one is, what you're going to do is you're going to sit down somewhere, on a chair or on the bed, just somewhere where you feel comfortable. And you can do it standing, so you don't need to be sitting. You can also do it lying down. But I think for most of you, when the anxiety comes up, most of the time you're going to be somewhere where you're seated. So even if you're in the car, it's easy, just to pull over and do one of these exercises. So in order to connect with an area of peace, what you're going to do is you're just going to sit somewhere comfy, make sure both your feet are flat on the ground. And what you're going to do is, just closing your eyes, you want to just kind of relax into your body and just breathe in your nose and out your mouth. And as you're breathing, I really want you to feel in your body, and it could be anywhere in your body. It doesn't have to be just in your torso or somewhere around your spine. It could be in your legs, in your feet, in your hands, fingers, arms. It could be in your head somewhere. Just scan your body, and as you breathe, where feels easy? Where feels effortless to connect with? And where does the energy feel like it's flowing? And where does the space feel like it's opening up into? So for me at this moment, it's very much in my thighs. So just when I'm breathing and when I'm connecting, there's a lot of effortlessness in my thighs. And you can reaffirm this area if you're connecting there and you feel like your mind is quietening and everything feels like it's really relaxing down and your body feels like it's unwinding, then you've got the right place. If your mind is very noisy and when you're focusing on that space, the breath is very jagged and not very easy, not very expansive, you need to find somewhere else. And explore all the way down, even into your lower legs, into your feet when you focus there. Explore up into your neck, up into your head, kind of right up into your crown, or even around areas around your shoulders and down into your arms. And just see where, when you focus, does it feel easy? There will be somewhere in your body that does feel easy. And it's really important to find that, because that's something that you're going to want to use when you'd feel anxious. And it does change. So it's not somewhere that's going to be effortless and easy all the time. But sometimes, quite often, it will move around depending on what's going on in our lives. So just take a moment to just really, I'd say, just really feel that place. And once you've got it, really focus your attention and focus your energy so that you can bring more into that place. So when you're focusing there, you're kind of expanding with the breath, expanding with the energy. And if it helps, you can put your hands on that place. So if it's somewhere in your upper body, bringing your hands in your arms, upper body here, or in your shoulders. If it's in your lower legs, one hand on each leg. Maybe it's just one leg, so you can put both hands on one leg. If it's right sort of on your feet, you want to just sort of bring your leg up and work on your feet. Could be in the tips of your toes. If it's on your body or on your torso somewhere, off to one side, then just put your hands there just so that you can really focus more attention there. And just take 1, 2, 3 minutes, just focused breathing underneath your hands into that place, expanding with breath and energy, and move your body to help the expansion. And you might already find when you're doing this, just the expansion and the breath alone, you start to feel more connected and you start to feel calmer. So just keep working with that for a few more breaths. Try and make sure the breath is in your nose and out your mouth. So if I was doing it up here, I'd be expanding and just really bringing all the attention and all the focus underneath my hands. And you can do this with your eyes open. You don't have to close your eyes, but sometimes it's easier to connect with your body when you have your eyes closed. It blocks out all the distractions. And just remember the place that you're working and remember the place where your hands are, because that's a place to remember when anxiety and fears do come up. Chances are that's going to be your go-to area. And just to kind of amplify, make sure that that is the right place, a time where you're not feeling so anxious, you want to do this exercise. Because if this part of your body is a part where it's easy and it's peaceful, then it's more likely going to still be that way when there isn't so much going on. So you can just reaffirm that to yourself. So the next one that we're going to do, and this is one of my favorites, and this is one that I do a lot when I feel anxious. Now, the very top vertebra, which is your C1, which is right underneath the base of your skull, This vertebra has a lot to do with how you regulate the emotion anxiety. So when we feel fear and when we feel anxious, what tends to happen is this very, very top vertebra tends to lock up and become more restricted. So it's absolutely a key component, I think, to really working through anxiety is being aware of maybe tension or kind of a locked or a restricted feeling right at the very top of your neck. So if you put your hands sort of right at the back of your head and just start somewhere right at the top and feel for the base of your skull. So you'll feel as you sort of work, if you bring your fingers down your head and like down the back of your head, you'll feel like a ridge, and you'll feel it kind of drop in, and this is where the very, very top vertebra sits. So it's right at the very top of your neck. And just as your fingers either side, so you're kind of going right down the spine here. So just either side where you feel your fingers sort of drop in, that's where you want your fingers to rest when we do this exercise. So just find that spot, and your fingers are going to be either side. So obviously the spine is in the middle, and your fingers are going to just be either side of the spine, dropping off the base of the skull, and then it kind of drops in. And you really want to make sure that when you do that, your chin is nicely tucked. So this is going to create more openness in the top of your spine here. And then what you're going to do is we're going to really breathe and connect into this joint, and we're going to stretch it and open it and expand it. So again, you want to make sure you're in a position where you can really open your upper body and open your neck, so that there's kind of more stretch coming through the back here. So I remove my hair, more stretch and openness here. So kind of in a place almost right at the top there. I don't know if you can see that if I turn around, just right at the top. So it's just sort of into the hairline. I think for most of you it will be. So you're going to just bring your hands right there. And for this, I recommend closing your eyes. So what you're going to do is allow the breath to come right up to this spot here. So when your fingers are on this area, make sure that they're quite light. They're not digging in and they're not pressing. They're just gently held on the surface, maybe just a little bit deeper into the muscles, but very gently. And you're just going to hold that spot, and I want you to bring the breath and bring your energy up. And you're going to bring it right up as if you're trying to get it up right underneath your skull. And really make sure it comes right to the tops of the lungs. And as you do that, you're going to make sure that there's more openness at the back. So tuck your chin. Make sure, even though your hands are up, your shoulders are fairly relaxed. And as the breath comes up, you're going to feel, you're going to almost want to tuck your chin right under. And I suggest you really do that so that it really opens this part of the neck here. And it's almost going to feel like you're expanding your brain with breath, with oxygen. And you might feel some tension around the front of your head, but that's okay. Just very gently, just hold that spot and just bring the breath energy up. Some of you might also feel tension in your shoulders, tension in between your shoulder blades. I don't want you to do anything with that at the moment. You're just going to hold that still. Hold the areas of tension just still. And with each breath, you might find you want to open that part of your neck even more. And it doesn't matter how you're breathing. You can breathe in your mouth or in your nose. It doesn't matter. Just keep the breath coming up. And keep the stretch kind of opening at the very top of your neck there. That's it. And you might find you need to just move your finger, as you stretch, you need to move your fingers up a little bit as your necks become more elongated. So just allow yourself to just refine that position as you open up into that. And you'll get to a place where the body won't want so much more connection. You'll get to a place where there'll be almost like a finish, and a point where there doesn't really want to be any more breath there. And that might be after sort of 4 or 5 breaths. That might take about 20 breaths. It might take even 50 breaths to really connect up, to really open that upper part of your neck there. And it is going to connect you into some tensions as well, some tensions that you might hold around your shoulders, hold around your neck. So when you've finished with the breath, it's really important to stretch. So me just connecting here, I've really felt that there's some tension around my shoulders and between my shoulder blades. That's okay. It's just me feeling into what's actually going on in my body. So now that I'm feeling that, it's just really important to just allow the body to just move and stretch in however the body really wants to. You can stand up, you can twist, you can stretch around, but just allow that tension to just work out. So the brain is just really connecting in with that. And it's now just giving the system chance to help the body reorganize and get to the other side. That's super important. So the movement is really key once you've done that. And you might find that when you go back and recheck the upper part of your neck, you might feel that actually there's less tension there, or the muscles aren't holding so much, or you might find that you are feeling a little bit lightheaded, like your head is somewhat lighter on top of your shoulders. So anything that you are feeling, just really make a note of that, because that's a real significant shift in your body, and you can produce that change whenever you want just by connecting into that very top vertebra there and just repeating that very simple exercise that we just did together. And that will bring more ease, that will bring more calmness and more stillness in the body. It will also allow the mind to not be chatting so much. So when you have those negative thought patterns, they'll become kind of more background noise rather than something that's so at the foreground. So those sorts of things are really important to recognize in yourself so that you know for your own mind what happens when you actually do the exercise. So that's number 2. That actually is my favorite. But the third way that I really connect, especially if there's a lot going on, and I know if the mind is quite busy and you just kind of feel all flustered and there's just stuff going on everywhere, and I know so many of you are feeling like that right now, this is a kind of trick to help you stay grounded. So this is something that you would need to be on your own, ideally on your own. Ideally, you need to be sat down for this one so that your feet are flat on the floor, because we're really sort of connecting in with the earth, connecting in with the ground as we do this. So if everybody is sat down somewhere in a nice comfy place, you can be sort of more reclined on the sofa, but just make sure your feet are flat on the ground and your feet can actually touch the floor. So once you've gotten yourself into a nice comfy position, what I want you to do is I want you to just place your hands on the tops of your thighs, so that they're sort of resting on the tops of your right up, so that almost the palm of your hand is almost into your hips. So your elbows might be slightly out to the side, but that's okay. And ideally your hips and your knees would be at a right angle, but it doesn't matter if they're not, but just ideally that would be the best thing. But what I want you to do is I want you to just close your eyes for this one and imagine gently you're pressing the palm of your hand or the palms of your hands, and you're just pressing very gently into the tissue and into the muscle of your thighs. And your fingertips ideally are pointing towards your knees. So just gently apply a little bit of pressure into your muscles and hold that pressure there. And you're going to focus on your hands and focus on your feet. Now, some of you might find it easy to focus on your feet, on the soles of your feet and the palms of your hands together. Or if you're finding that difficult, then I want you to focus on the soles of your feet, and then you're going to focus on the palms of your hands. So you're going to alternate. And it doesn't matter which one that you do, just try both. If you can focus on both of them together, then that's great. If you find it difficult, then just pick one, and you're going to focus on that for a few moments, and you're going to go back and focus on the other. And what I want you to do when your eyes are closed and you're still applying some pressure down into your thighs, I want you to imagine where your hands are kind of pressing into your thighs. It's as if you're pushing breath and you're pushing energy down into your feet. So every time that you breathe, make sure you really expand in the abdomen. It doesn't matter how you breathe, in your nose or in your mouth, it's fine. Just really breathe into the palms of your hands so that you expand all around the base of your body. And then with the out breath, imagine like you're pushing that through the palms of your hands and you're pushing that down towards your feet. So breathe into your hands, and then as you breathe out, imagine like you're pushing it down towards your feet. And on the next few breaths, imagine like you can push beyond your feet. So as you push the breath energy down to your feet, it's going beyond and almost into the ground. So there's almost energy. And if you can't feel the energy, it doesn't matter. You just want to visualize something coming out through your feet and connecting into the floor, even through the floor, like your feet have got roots kind of expanding and extending down. So just take a moment and just really feel the visualization. So you're going to breathe in, and then when you breathe out, push a little bit more into the muscles of the thighs. Push that energy and breath down to your feet and into the ground. And just recheck your shoulders. So really make sure that your shoulders are relaxed through this. So you're going to breathe in and breathe out and just push that energy down and push it right down through your feet, through the floor. And just keep doing that and keep connecting with that. And if it helps to be more rhythmic with your breathing, I suggest breathing in your nose and out your mouth. When you exhale, really get that energy going down your legs, down into the floor. And again, recheck your shoulders, make sure that they're relaxed, because pushing a little bit will allow, you'll naturally maybe want your shoulders to come up, but just relax them down. If they're coming up, you're pushing too hard. So just gently pushing into your thighs and get the energy going down into your feet and through the earth. And you'll get to a point where you might start to feel your pelvis kind of wake up. You might feel warmth or tingling. You might feel there's more expansion down into your legs, maybe at the back here. So where I normally feel it for me is the joints right at the bottom of my low back, and I feel like there's much more expansion and there's much more openness. And I know that I'm getting it because I can feel the whole of my low back start to expand. But for some people, you might feel tingling or warm feelings, and you might feel sort of the buzzing going down your legs. And some people might feel at the soles of your feet, you might sort of start to feel some connection or some energy down there. And it's really, you can feel that the roots almost going into the ground. So just be aware of what you each individually feel for yourself. Quite often it's the same. So just observe that in yourself so that you know when you do it again what you're looking for. When you've finished, or when you feel like you've gotten to that place, you can just let your hands just drop by your sides. Keep your feet flat on the floor, and then just feel into your body. And just make a note of what's different and how your energy is different, how your body feels different. Maybe you notice the breath is different, or it's easier in certain or different places. You might feel there's more calm, more peace. You might feel sort of light in your body. For me, I always tend to feel it quietens my mind quite a lot. And there's much more stillness in my system. So just make a few notes in your mind of what's different. So those are my 3 exercises. I hope you enjoyed them. So just to recap, the first one is focus on breathing into an area of peace. So the chances are that the area that we found when we first did the exercise is going to be your area. So it's the area that generally is more peaceful more frequently for you, especially if you're already at the moment in a more chilled out place. And it's always good when you feel the anxiety to just tune in with your body, and is it the same, or is there another place in your body where you do feel that it is more peaceful, and focus and connect there and bring the energy there. And you can put your hands there and you can expand it, bring more attention, bring more focused attention as you work with that. The second exercise is where we went right up to the top here and we connected with that very top vertebra. So we kind of brought the hands down, the fingers, and dipped right under the base of the skull. And as we sort of brought the breath and connected, we really brought the energy and the breath through there, and we stretched. So we really opened the space right underneath the skull, and people might have felt like shifts and changes in their brain, in their mind, and they might have felt tension that's kind of coming up through here, and that's all tension that kind of keeps you locked and keeps that joint locked in that anxiety mode. So when you feel and connect into that tension, it's really important to move and to stretch. So after you've done this opening exercise, that's the key to then stretch and work through some of the tension that you might have felt coming up in your body. And then the last and the third one is when we really connected into the tops of the thighs, making sure that your feet are flat on the ground, and you're just applying that pressure into the top of the thigh. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, imagine like you're pushing the energy from your palms of your hands, pushing into your thigh and bringing the energy down into the floor, into the ground. And the end, or what signifies the end of that exercise, is kind of a shift in the energy and a shift in some change in your body. So for me, as I mentioned, really opening in your lower back, but some people might feel warmth or tingling or an opening somewhere at the sole of the foot, or just generally quite peaceful or easy, or the mind is switching off. And however your body responds, make a mental note of that, because the chances are when you come to doing any of these exercises again, that will be a similar response. So just be with your body, be with the experiences that there are. And these are 3 super easy, super great tools that can help you when you're feeling moments of fear, when you're feeling moments of anxiety, to just do or pick one of them. People are going to have their favorite. Just pick one, and it takes like a minute, 2 minutes tops, just to work through that and come out the other side feeling much more calm, much more able to deal with certain situations and emotions that you're feeling, so that you can just carry on, be more open, be more chilled out, and enjoy whatever processes are unfolding for all of us. Because these are times that are definitely testing us. So it's really important to have some tools in place so that when things come up, you have something that you can do to help you connect, so that you can work through this and get to the other side. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me, and make some comments about what you got from the exercises and maybe which one was your favorite. And if you feel compelled to, this is going to go live on YouTube, so you feel compelled, you can share this with somebody that you feel could really use some ways to deal with and to handle some of the anxiety that they're feeling in their body, because they're super easy to implement into life. And I really hope you enjoyed this. And for those of you that are super excited to join me, I'm doing another energetic online session on Monday at 5:30. I can't wait to see you guys there. I know some of you have signed up for that already, and you sign up on my website, www.francescaaitken.com. And I can't wait to share those energetic workshops with you online. And the next live that I'm going to be doing is on Tuesday, and I'm going to announce the time on the Facebook group later today. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you all soon. Have a lovely weekend, and please, please, please enjoy the weather tomorrow, because it's going to be really, really gorgeous. Cool, and I will see you then. Bye.